namaste and good morning. Welcome to the class. Uh, the postgraduate student, the pass out postgrad student, is expected to create and to choreograph. So, we are looking into a lot of points of views for choreography. What is choreography, how it is used, what is choreography in Bharatanatyam, what is the traditional concept of choreography, and so on and so forth. So, today we will try to understand what is the maturing of choreography. We will go through the historical perspective and come to the present. The Bharata in the Natya Shastra wrote the words that for dance, that dance is occasioned by no specific need. It has come into use because it creates beauty. As dance is naturally loved by almost all people, it is praised as an auspicious, it is eulogized as being the source of amusement on occasions of marriage, childbirth, reception of son-in-law, general festivity and attainment of prosperity. However, the revival that the Indian dance forms experience was congruent with the rise of Indian nationalism and the maturation of the Indian middle class. It commenced with the rejection of the stigmatized version of the art and its traditional practitioners. What emerged was a form distinctly Indian, but a narrative which supports the popular Indian middle class ethos. Some of the first significant efforts in this direction by Srimati Rukmini Devi Arundel. In the last section or in the earlier module, there is a detailed treatment of the influence of foreigners in the revival of interest amongst the Indians in dance, in their own Indian dance forms. This case was no exception. History has it that in 1928, the famous ballerina Anna Pavlova visited Bombay and the Arundel couple went to see her performance. Later, they happened to travel to Australia on the same ship where she was to perform next. Over the course of the journey, their friendship grew, and soon Rukmini Devi started learning dance from one of Anna's leading solo dancers, Cleo Nodi. However, Anna drew her attention to the beauties of Indian dance and encouraged her to discover traditional Indian dance forms which had fallen to disrepute. This had such an impact on Rukmini Devi, and then she was to spend the rest of her life for their survival and revival. Srimati Rukmini Devi established Kalakshetra in 1936 after the extraordinary success of her first performance of Bharatanatyam at the Theosophical Society in Adyar, a suburb of Madras in south of India. Now it is Chennai. The founding members Rukmini Devi, her husband George Arundel and their associates at the Theosophical Society were deeply committed to theosophy, and the Arts Academy was an extension of this commitment. The Academy was also symbolic of struggle for India's independence. It was to culturally revive a country that was losing its identity under the British rule. The name Kalakshetra was suggested by Pandit S. Subramanya Shastri, the Sanskrit scholar and member of the Academy. His granddaughter S. Sharada was one of the first students of Kalakshetra. It was she who took it upon herself to research the text for Rukmini Devi's dance dramas and took detailed notations of Rukmini Devi's choreography. Kalakshetra was initially established as a center for Bharatanatyam, and later Kathakali. The choice of the two styles was astute, as in its several dance dramas produced during the lifetime of Rukmini Devi. The kinetic language of Kathakali served as a great counterpoint to the more feminine Bharatanatyam. There is an evergreen quality to these dance dramas choreographed by Rukmini Devi several years ago. At Kalakshetra, there was a conscious attempt to teach choreography and compositions in dance and music, which went a long way in earning it an international reputation. The Encyclopedia Britannica claims that it was to add contemporary sophistication to the dance that she adopted a dance drama format. Kalakshetra's reputation rests on its dance dramas, meticulously crafted ensemble pieces choreographed by Rukmini Devi. The music for the dance dramas is the living legacy of the musicians who came to the institute. Rukmini Devi choreographed her first drama, Kutral Kurvanji, to the music of Veena Krishnamachari. Its success inspired her to choreograph Kalidas's Kumar Sambhavam in 1947, for which Tiger Vardacharya composed the music. Papanashan Shivan scored Andal Charitam, Geet Govindam, Abhigyan Shakuntalam, Kannapar Kurvanji, and others. Mysore Vasudevacharya came to Kalakshetra in 1953 with his grandson Rajaram. He composed the music for the 6-part Valmiki Ramayana until his death, after which Rajaram took over. This 6-part dance drama based on Ramayana has remained among her best known works. Sita Swayamvaram was choreographed in 1954 and Chudamani Pradhanam in 1969. For Rukmini Devi, the musicians associated with Kalakshetra over the years provided the backbone on which she built her productions. Arundel conceived and choreographed numerous choreographies in the new style of Bharatanatyam that she followed, liberally tempered by elements of Kathakali, of which over the time she created a sufficient corps of dancers, including Dhananjayan and Kunniraman. These works are repeated and enjoyed even today. In their remounting of the senior staff like Janardhan, Balagopal, and Krishnaveli, who were there when these dramas were choreographed, they continued to be associated and serve as living reference point. Apart from relying on our memory, there are the copious dance notations and videos. The same color combination and design for the costumes and the jewellery, as was the case when they were first presented, is still adhered to, in an attempt to preserve the production as a whole. Kalakshetra believes that there is no need to change. If we have to change, then we might as well produce a new one. While Rukmini Devi was presenting well-researched, musically strong and visually aesthetic pieces deeply rooted in Indian culture in the South, in the North India, Madam Menaka was indulging in a similar exercise with Kathak. Dance historian Ashish Khokar writes that Madam Menaka is credited with starting and shaping Indian ballet, a term loosely referring to the dance dramas with little or no dialogues and an overriding emphasis on mythological themes. In the pre-independence claim of India, this was logical, as lots of Indian traditions had been lost or diluted or submerged, and there was a conscious effort to revitalize them. To revive our traditions, the early dancers and gurus revived lots of Indian themes from our epics or Puranas. Thus, many ballets came about in that period, and Madam Menaka contributed her own bit. But as a result of her foreign education, her social position, being the wife of General Sokhe, who headed the Hafkin Institute in Mumbai, she was widely travelled. She too had met Anna Pavlova, and both had formed a mutual admiration and trust. Menaka thus created short productions that could travel to Europe and America. Items like Usha, Nagakanya, Mughal Serenade, Dance of Devotion. Those days, short items worked especially with audiences abroad, not much exposed to themes and things Indian. She proved a big success as Uday Shankar himself and was a special hit in Berlin, where in 1936 the Menaka Indian Ballet went on to win the dance competition of the 1936 Olympics. This was the performance that put Menaka and her troupe on the international map. The game's dance portion ended up being a competition turned festival that simply awarded diplomas and prizes. It is also remembered for the fact that German modern dance was not allowed to be showcased and Martha Graham refused to participate and perform. Later, in 1938, the Menaka Indian Ballet shot for two international films, a German film called De Tiger von Ashnapur and British film Temples of India. Interestingly, Madam Menka was among the first Brahmin women to dance Kathak on a public stage, which was strongly stigmatized at that time, being associated with the Nach movement. Yet, the male members in the troupe included traditional Kathaks, including Gauri Shankar of the Jaipur Gharana and Ramanarayan Mishra, nephew of Sambhu Maharaj. In the biography of Madam Menaka, written by her disciple Damayanti Joshi, who also was part of the troupe and was part of these recordings, the late Kathak dancer Damayanti Joshi explicitly notes the dances in their Tiger von Ashnapur were excerpts from the two of Menka's earliest dance drama creations, the Krishna Leela and Deva Vijaya Nritya. Menka's very first dance drama was Krishna Leela, which portrayed Radha's reunion with Krishna after a very difficult party. The dance drama Deva Vijaya Nritya was Menka's second production of the career, and it was based on the legend of Shiva's temptation by Mohini. It is believed that Lachu Maharaj directed this dance drama for Menaka. Menaka is said to have choreographed many divertissements, solo, duet and group dances presented before the main productions. In the typical Madam Menaka manner, replete with detailed research, the costumes for Krishna Leela were inspired by the 17th century Rajput paintings, and the choreography was jointly designed by Menaka, her first Kathak guru Pandit Sitaram Prasad. In India, she had created a fine school in the hills of Khandala, and it is here that she ran a resident school. Among the beneficiaries of this effort was Damayanti Joshi, daughter of the housekeeper of the Sokhis, who became part of family and was groomed by Madam Menka as if she were her own daughter. From this center, Madam Menka established her reputation as a pioneer in refashioning the form with a modern dance drama format and introduced Kathak technique to the international community for the first time through her troops tours of Europe and Southeast Asia. Scholar Pallavi Chakrabarti gives a clue as to why Madam Menka's name and contribution remain generally forgotten today outside of serious dance circles. While many attribute to her early death in 47 and the demise of her dance school soon after that, by arguing that the post-independence Kathak got established as a patriarchal tradition that rarely acknowledged women practitioners of the past as gurus, teachers, co-creators or pioneers. Khokhar admits that Menaka had poise, class and beauty. Her productions remained an important link to India's glorious past and helped restructure some of the cultural ethos of the era gone by. In her Kathak, the flowery appeal and beauty of form came through, and in her costumes, the frescoes of Ajanta were recreated. She came at a time when India needed cultural ambassadors who could stand shoulder to shoulder with foreigners and speak an Indian cultural tongue that was on par with alien rulers or powers. In that, Madam Menka did both herself and her country proud. These films are about the only definitive documentations of Madam Menka's work. What is surprising is that there is very little resemblance to Kathak as we know it today. It in fact looks inspired by the Javanese dances and Uday Shankar's works. Could this be, in a sense, emanate from the fact that Menaka learned Manipuri and Kathakali at one point during her career and offered these and other forms as a course as a dance school? Yet, scholarship from Madam Menka claims that she did not start incorporating Manipuri and Kathakali into her dances until her third dance drama production, Malavika Agnimitram, in 1939. Menaka certainly would have known authentic Kathak, given that she was trained with the well-known Lucknow Gharana gurus Pandit Sitaram Prasad, Achan Maharaj and Lachu Maharaj. As noted above, Sitaram Prasad and Lachu Maharaj even assisted with choreography her first and second dance dramas respectively. Damayanti Joshi writes about her guru that she exploited to advantage the superb footwork of the dance, its angaharas and karanas, the beautiful arm and body movements. Mimetically, she drew upon the traditional Gata bhavs with their wealth of expressive nuances. This was the mainstay of her drama and acting out of a story on stage. Much is written now on how she transferred Kathak from a solo display of technique to a grand dance drama, utilizing Sanskrit drama narratives with beautiful costumes and stage decorations and lighting. Menaka's musical accompaniment has also been stressed upon. Specific references are made about how she removed all association with the Thumri and Ghazal genres, often performed by courtesan tawayabs, by discarding the traditional Lehra scale and creating orchestral compositions with varied instruments like the sarod, shehnai, tabla, pakhawaj, ghantu, xylophone and clappers. Scholar Edith Walker is of the belief that the productions of Madam Menaka ballet troupe were related to Oriental dance in the form, concept and costume, and constituted a bridge between East and West, just as Uday Shankar. Yet, unlike Uday Shankar's troupe, the male dancers were hereditary Kathaks, and the repertoire they taught was authentic dance from the past century. It is important to mention here about the same as Menaka was making waves overseas were her choreographies. In a remote corner of India, the patronage of Raja Chakradhar Singh of Raigad resulted in a great resurgence of the three extant gharanas of Kathak, resulting in what may people call Kathak's fourth gharana, the Raigad Gharana. This kingdom became the nursery of a effulgence in Kathak that was marked by the development of new parants and traditional compositions of intra forms of Kathak. Many of these were inspired by the beauties of nature that were available in abundance in this largely forested royal state, or by the complexities of rhythm to which the Raja was rather partial. Another dance that flourished in this period was the Chhau. There are three variants of Chhau today: Mayurbhanj, Saraikela and Purulia. In 2010, the form was inscribed in UNESCO's list of intangible cultural heritage of mankind. From the 19th century onwards, Chhau flourished both as military exercises of the Paikas or local foot soldiers and also as essential part of the Chaitra Parva celebrations. Later, it became part of the royal patronage of culture, and two groups created Uttar Sahi and Dakhin Sahi to goad each other. The royals took deep interest and funded them liberally for their diet, costumes, props, and training. Ustads were offered tax free land donations to train the groups. Much new choreographies emerged from these efforts. New themes were introduced by both the Sahis. The Mayurbhanj in Odisha, during the reign of Maharaja Pratap Chandra Bhanu, who ruled the state from 1928 to 1948, the Uttar Sahi composed dances like Kaliya Daman, Matru Puja, Praimika Praimika, Meghaduta, Samudra Manthan, Kela Keluni, Garuda Vahana, Natraj, etc. Similarly, Dakshin Shahi presented the dances like Giri Govardhan, Maya Shabri, Holi, Niladri Bije, Bastra Chauri, Raslila, Kirat Arjun, and Banshi Chori, etc. Often the royals would dance along with the commoners, so strong was their commitment to the form. The Mayurbhanjau dance flourished with royal patronage, and one of them was even performed in 1912 in Kolkata in honor of the visiting Emperor George V, who was impressed by its beauty and splendor. This was in keeping with the desire for the assertion of Odisha identity. After 1948, the patronage from the royals receded and Chau fell on difficult times. Although the Odisha government began support almost immediately, the dance form still sees challenging days ahead. Similar is the story of royal patronage of Saraikela Chau. The great choreographer of this very delicate style was Kumar Bijay Pratap Singh Dev, brother of Maharaja Aditya Pratap Singh Dev. Though martial art is believed to be the base of Chau dance, more than two-thirds of his technique is derived from the gaits and flights of birds and animals. Only a few others describe the daily chores of women. These two sections signify the early, primitive hunting occupation of the native inhabitants and their gradual settled life as they learned land cultivation. Indeed, it was the choreographic genius of Prince Vijay Pratap Singh Dev who introduced highly suggestive themes and stylized body movements that match the poet's imagination. The new repertoire could be classified into three categories. The first consisting of simple and primary dances, second the solo or duet dances depicting birds, animals, night, sea and even human beings of humble origins like fisherman, boatman or hunter. Its iconic pieces include Mayur, Hamsa and Ratri, which is based on the Ratri Sukta of the Rig Veda. Often the choreographic creates a deep and allegorical meanings which may echo higher philosophy of life. For instance, Banavidya, a short but one of the most poetic dances of Saraikela Chau repertoire, provides a glimpse into the high degree of suggestive potential of this form. Depicting the flight of a young deer pierced by an arrow, it conveys the message of non-violence towards mute and innocent animals is conveyed through this dance. Another category comprises of more dramatic dances which are inspired by Sanskrit classics like Meghdut, the Cloud Messenger, written by the great poet and dramatist Kalidas, or Bengali poems like Bandir Swapna, the Captive's Dream, penned by Rabindranath Tagore. Since independence, much Indian choreography has employed the powerful language of Chau, but it all started with the Gwalior-based Little Ballet Troupe, produced some of the most creative stage performances seen in post-independence India. While Chau has not received classical recognition, it is a very rich and valued part of India's intangible performance heritage, employing creative energies for choreographing new pieces. While the royal patronage has totally disappeared, today the Sangeet Natak Academy has supported all three Chau's variety via its Chau project. All people believe that they are Gandharvas born to dance. The origins of the ancient dance of Manipur are lost in time. Manipur offers a curious mix of ritual and performance. All performances originally was part of some moment or milestone in the lives of the Manipuris. Manipur also lived a more isolated life. As such, very little was known to the rest of India till about 1919, when Rabindranath Tagore saw the Ras Leela in Sylhet district. Fascinated, he was able to get a Manipuri dance guru to teach at his university, Shantiniketan. It was really through the efforts of Tagore that Manipuri was noticed and soon spread across India. However, it was in the late 19th and 20th century that the Manipuri gurus returned to their text and worked to make their dance as authentic as possible. It was only Guru Bipin Singh who really created modern stage choreographies, taking elements of Manipuri culture but stringing it together in an interesting and riveting manner. The first Prime Minister of India, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, saw the Ras Leela on his first ever visit to Manipur in 1952 at the Royal Palace as a guest of late Maharaja Bhagya Chandra Singh. He was so moved by this grace that the decision to set up the Jawaharlal Nehru Manipuri Dance Academy was taken on the spot. Since then, some of the great dance and dance theatre choreographies of India have come from this beautiful state rich in creative impulses and artistic treasures. Deep links of the dances of Manipur with annual calendar and the life cycle milestones testify to and justify the opening quote from the Natya Shastra.